How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. It seems we have big news when it comes to court cases around Microsoft and the ABK, and of course the trials and tribulations of antitrust gamers lawsuit. But it does seem like there has been a conclusion, at least to one of these. The 9th District Court is still silent and not reporting anything, but it does seem that the antitrust gamers lawsuit over the $69 billion Activision Blizzard buy has well and truly ended. And with that, it looks like it is now over. The terms of the settlement have not been disclosed, and a bunch of people are now trying to find out what that is. But it does seem like this is a thing of the past, and the antitrust gamers lawsuit just isn't going to go anywhere ever again. And it does look like if there is no settlement, that the actual antitrust gamers lawsuit is going to have to cover their own fees. This is going to set them back a lot of money. I wonder if Sony is actually going to come out and now support them in this endeavor. Let's just go through and see exactly what's going on. So you've got Jeff Keighley here, of course. Straight in there, Microsoft has settled this antitrust gamers lawsuit over $69 billion Activision Blizzard buy. Terms of the settlement have not been disclosed. And obviously, people are now looking at, well, what's going on here? How much have they disclosed for? Did the gamers lawsuit just take the money and leave? Is that all they were interested in? Where's the morality in all of this? Was it always just about a payday? You know, what's going on here? But, you know, Jeff Keighley here has labeled this as a settlement. Now, if we look over here, we see Tom Warren. Microsoft has settled a long-running lawsuit by so-called gamers, challenging its Activision Blizzard deal. The lawsuit has been dismissed with prejudice, so it won't be refiled. That means that that's it. Even if they wanted to appeal again, it's permanently blocked. This is a lawsuit that's finally just got off Microsoft, because this had been annoying them for quite some time. Pursuant to Rule 41 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, plaintiffs and defendant, by and through their undersigned counsel, stipulate and agree to the dismissal with prejudice of the amended complaint and plaintiffs' claims in this action. Each party shall bear their own costs and fees. Now, there's two ways of looking at this. Microsoft basically turned around and said, look, you're not going to win this. Just piss off, we'll pay your court fees, and go along your merry way. Or they just said, you can accrue a lot more money and go away. I can't imagine Microsoft gave them a payday. I just can't do that. That's not how these corporations work, especially when they know they can't lose. Then you've got Post Up over here, which delivered a pretty lengthy story, again with the same excerpt, the stipulation. It's been 1 year since the ABK deal was closed, nothing from the 9th Circuit and the FTC appeal. This is obviously the big one. That is the one that is still kind of holding Microsoft in shackles and causing them a lot of issues. Of course, we've recently just found out that Call of Duty is going to be on xCloud, which is really weird. But we'll cover that in another video, and we're also going to cover that in tomorrow's stream. But this is really strange how Call of Duty suddenly is now allowed on the back of that we get this ruling, which could potentially mean that maybe there's been some kind of understanding with the CMA, or the FTC is finally doing something else. I mean, this cloud ruling doesn't have anything to do with the FTC anyway, so that's a bit of a weird enigma. Recent updates since July. Microsoft lawsuit versus gamers seeking to block the Activision deal has been dismissed. Each party shall bear their own costs and fees. This basically now means that if those gamers lawsuits, gamers, were actually there hoping that they would win so they wouldn't have to pay any fees, these fees could be in the millions at this point because of how long it's taken and all the court fees. These people could be in a lot of debt. And honestly, good for them. They should be. Because they thought they were smart when all the games are multi-plat anyway. I don't know what they were arguing for, They were wasting everyone else's time. They were wasting the court's time. So there should be a repercussion for this. There should be a punishment for this. And if they have to pay that debt for the rest of their lives, then so be it. You know, you make your bed, you lie in it. That's how it works. The mobile browsers and cloud gaming market investigation from the CMA has been progressing, and many working papers were published during the summer. The one about cloud gaming services, nature of competition and requirements for native apps on mobile devices is quite interesting and includes many new bits of info post the ABK case. Now this is the one that may have some bearing as to why Microsoft now is able to, especially after the November the 1st ruling that's about to, kick in with the Google Play Store, where Microsoft can put their app on there, sell their own games within their own kind of mini ecosystem store, and have them, people play those games straight off without having to give Google any money. So that's interesting, and that kind of potentially ties in with what Microsoft has maybe done in order to get Call of Duty onto it, albeit Diablo 4 still is not on xCloud. Unionized Raven workers filed complaint against Studio, Activision, and Microsoft. Complaint alleges that the firms are not bargaining in good faith. 15 million class ATI fee sought in Microsoft Activision suit. Attorneys for Sweden's state pension fund manager have proposed a 15 million attorney fee for their investigation and intervention in a suit seeking Delaware Court of Chancery fixes for defects in some of terms of Activision Blizzard and 68.7 billion acquisition by Microsoft Corp last year. The CWA slams Microsoft over extremely disappointing layoffs. The union, which threw its weight behind Microsoft's merger and with Activision Blizzard, has underlined the devastating impact of layoffs. Well, layoffs were always going to happen. It's a merger. The CWA should have known that. They went into this fully well knowing that jobs would be lost. There's just no denying it. The annual report from Microsoft included this when talking about the gaming division and the acquisition. In addition, an acquisition may be subject to challenge even after it has been completed. For example, the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, continues to challenge our Activision Blizzard acquisition and could, if successful, alter or unwind the transaction. And that's the part that's really dangerous, right? It could alter, if the FTC is successful, it can alter or unwind the transaction. Basically mean, even though it's closed, it can make it unclosed, and the transaction never went through. That's how, the chances of that happening are so slim that you're more likely to see pigs flying across, the Thames or Brooklyn Bridge or something like that. You get the analogy. But it's still a possibility. Think Dumb and Dumber, or Dumb and Dumberer, where the guy, the guy playing Jim Carrey turns around and goes, "So you're saying there's still a chance?" And, obviously she said 1 in a million. This is probably way less than that, but a chance is a chance. So Microsoft has to tread carefully. These events could adversely affect our business operations, financial condition, and results of operations. More info here. The biggest one, of course, is this one over here. Ubisoft has already recouped the money it spent on Activision cloud gaming rights. Ubisoft paid between 50 and 100 million, and it's already made its money back. But this all means that that's one court case down, and despite the fact that the gamers' lawsuits have decided that they would come after Microsoft, I think 7 times now, in appeals and reopening the case, thinking they were smart, they now have a huge wage bill sitting at the front of their door that they have to pay to lawyers, to court fees, that they now have to pay. And I think, you know what? You F around, you find out. And that's exactly what's happened to them. And this whole situation with the gamers' lawsuit was a waste of time. It was a colossal waste of taxpayers' money. It was a colossal waste of everyone's time, even the court's time. And there needs to be, a precedent set where people like this just don't do it on the whim. And if that means that their whole life is now ruined because they'll probably be in debt for the rest of their natural born lives, so be it. I think at that point, you know, the next person that decides to just go and challenge someone just because they feel like it without any evidence, and then tries to appeal it 7 times, would think twice. And I guess this goes out to the law firms as well. But that is one case down, 1 to go. The big one is still the FTC with the 9th District Court, Circuit Court, still not responding, still not, you know, giving a verdict. A year later, it's crazy, right? It's crazy to think that this has gone on for a year and they're still not giving a verdict. But this one has been settled. And it's over. It will never, even if they try to appeal, it will be instantly rejected without Microsoft having to even do anything. It's game over for the gamers lawsuit. Well, everyone, let me know what you think in the comment section below. This is 1 down, 1 to go. Love to hear your thoughts. We'll be discussing this in our Tuesday stream. But yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell to stay up to date with all content I release. If you've enjoyed this content, that is. And I will see you tomorrow. Remain legend.